Zweig Group invites all AEC industry leaders to the 2024 AEC Small Business and Entrepreneurship Forum, the premier event for small firms in the AEC sector. Experience innovative strategies and insights on May 21st, crafted by Zweig Group's industry experts. Engage in keynotes and interactive sessions focused on recruitment, retention, and business growth. Join Zweig Group for this unique networking opportunity and take your business to new heights. Secure your spot today and be part of the AEC industry's future. Visit zweiggroup.com for more information. The Zweig Group team looks forward to welcoming you.
Welcome to the Zweig Letter Podcasts, putting architectural, engineering, planning, and environmental consulting guru Mark Zweig and his team of experts straight talk in your ear. Mark has more than 30 years of experience helping AEP and environmental firms thrive. And these podcasts deliver his invaluable management, industry, client, and HR advice directly to you, free of charge. The Zweig Letter and the Zweig Letter Podcasts let you develop professionally, wherever you are.
Hey everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Zweig Letter Podcast. Our goal is to bring you some of the best and brightest minds that the AEC industry has to offer. Today, I am pleased to welcome our own Bob Drake to the show. Bob is the editor-in-chief of Civil plus Structural Engineer magazine, a magazine dedicated to celebrating the designers of the world around us. Bob, it's great to have you join us on the Zweig Letter interview series. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about the magazine and how long you've been a part of the publication?
Okay. Well, thank you for having me here today. The magazine was started in April of 2014, and it's a combination of two former magazines, CE News and Structural Engineer. And those had been long-standing magazines, and decision was made. Actually, it's going back to its early history. The two magazines, CE News and Structural Engineer, were originally a single publication. And so they were split out for a while, and now they're back into one magazine again. We're in the midst of our fourth year of publication.
Okay. And now you've been involved in some way, shape, or form with the magazines for how long?
Well, I started on CE News in about 2004.
Wow, okay.
And also did some work with the Structural Engineer, more managing editor type position.
Okay.
And so it was really just continuous since then.
Okay, all right, great. And obviously you've seen a lot of changes over the years, I could imagine.
Yeah, I mean, both in the industry and also in the publishing world.
Right.
I started publishing in the 80s. And we just barely were using computers then. Right. But, and now, we're making quite a strong move toward digital, and that's where we're headed.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. And we're going to talk a little bit about that whole digital footprint that the magazine now has, and it's something that we're trying to encourage people to take part of. But so tell me this. I know most recently there was an issue, and I'm going to just, because for those that are watching the video, I'm going to show this cover for this Civil and Structural Engineer magazine. And this was kind of cool, and it really caught my eye because of the roller coaster. And I'm a big roller coaster fan, and the article is about Maser Consulting and some of the work that they're doing, and I thought it was really cool. But how do you choose what or who will be the cover story for each issue?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a combination of things. I mean, obviously, we'd prefer, hope to get a significant and timely story on the cover to grab people's attention. Mm-hmm. But it also comes down to getting the best image. You want something that's going to be visually attractive, preferably maybe show some action, great color and composition, and but it also has to fit a magazine cover. The vertical orientation. We have to have an image. The resolution is large enough for a large print, high quality print. And things such as, where's the logo going to go? We don't want to cover up people's heads with our logo. Where's the cover copy going to go? So it has to be a somewhat simple image. It can't be too busy in the background, or it just detracts from the whole thing.
Yeah.
So in June, we just happened to get this great cover photo. It went well with the beginning of summer, the Jersey Shore coming back, and all the work that engineers have done to build something stronger that will hopefully last through the next hurricane that hits the area.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't hit anytime soon. But
Right.
no, yeah, I mean, when I first saw it, I mean, I saw the magazine from across the room, and the green of the roller coaster really caught my eye. And you guys have actually lately, you've had a couple of really cool covers, and of course I know the individual that does a lot of the work behind the scenes to put these together, and so some of these covers are almost artwork in and of themselves. And I know that even here in the office we're starting to take these pictures and put them up on the wall because they actually look really cool. So so I think that's really nice to know. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the things that you do to stay current and knowledgeable in the AEC industry? So prior to 2004, were you involved in the AEC industry at that time, or were you writing in a different space?
I would say an allied industry. Since the 80s, my background is in geology.
Okay.
Emphasis in geotechnology and environmental geology.
Okay.
And in the mid 80s, I started working on a magazine for the construction materials industries for crushed stone, sand and gravel, concrete, asphalt. So that's where I was in that space for many years. And although it's allied, it's not engineering. It's a little bit not quite as technical.
Right.
But my background in the construction arena, I think, really helped and coming into the engineering side of it.
Okay. So what do you do now to stay current and knowledgeable in the AEC industry? Because it seems like, I mean, this is my second round, if you will, working in the AEC space. And I originally was an owner at Zweig back in the 90s and 2000s before our acquisition. And I remember what things were like even then. And it doesn't seem like so long ago, but there have been so many changes. And now, since I've been back since 2014, it just seems like every time I look up, there's another change. And I mean, how do you, as a journalist, as a writer, as an editor, how do you stay abreast of all the change that's taking place in the industry?
I think read every day.
Right. Leaders are readers.
The internet is a great tool for journalists.
Yeah.
Between knowing what the engineering firms are doing, government agencies, just keeping a kind of a broad view on construction in general.
Mm-hmm.
One of the luxuries I have as an editor is that I get to sort of take a broad view of things. A lot of our readers are very intense into their projects and their world, which they have to be to get it done.
Right.
But I can take information, broadly, what all these firms are doing, what associations are doing, what government agencies are doing. And it's my job basically to keep abreast of the trends and the new technologies, what researchers are up to in universities.
Okay.
So from press releases, from websites, conversations with people, conferences, webcasts are a big part now.
Yeah.
News briefings and engineering firms involved in presenting their projects. So really, it's been a great tool and just really keeping abreast of things. Hopefully doing the work that engineers don't have the time to do on a daily basis and sort of collecting and collating and presenting this information to them in a form that they can more easily and quickly get through.
Okay. So what has the feedback been from the readership? I mean, I'm just curious to know what they think about the material and about certainly some of the stories that have been featured in the magazine.
Generally good feedback. People like to, in particular, see the projects that others are doing, just for ideas, for probably comparing their own work to what others are doing. We're not a highly technical peer-reviewed journal.
Okay.
You can get that from the associations. We're what I would like to call peer-contributed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the engineers, the firms, universities, others contributing a look at what they're doing and providing kind of an overview, not really deeply technical. But it's something that gives people a place to go if they want more information. We hopefully provide the links, the people they can get in contact with to get that information.
Yeah. Okay. And now you mentioned briefly the webinars, and I know that that you guys have done webinars in the past. Can you talk a little bit about that, and what was the rationale behind doing these webinars and tying them in with Civil plus Structural Engineer magazine?
Well, our webinars have mostly been sponsored, so it's a way for particularly software companies to get the information out about their capabilities, new products, probably a little bit of teaching on how to use the software, because they can do live demonstrations online. And it's just a quick way for professionals in the industry to get this education, earn a little professional development hour, and over lunchtime, watch something at their desk. It's an inexpensive way to do that. Don't have to travel, and they've been very successful. We have audiences, anywhere from 300 to 800 people that will attend one of these, and plus it's archived online, so people can then go back, and if they can't make it the day of the webcast, they can at least go back and look at it.
Yeah, wow, that's a big audience. So it sounds like you guys are utilizing all the technology that's available to you to get the word out about the magazine and to spread the content and the stories. I mean, there's great. I mean, I know that Mark Zweig writes a story in there. That Chad Kleinens is a regular contributor who works here at Zweig Group, and there are many others. Richard Massey being another one, who is the editor of the Zweig Letter, our newsletter that's run continuously since '92. But I mean, everybody has kind of chipped in and helped out there, and you will take writers from the outside as well. If somebody wanted to write for the magazine, how would they go about doing that?
The easiest way is to shoot me an email.
Okay.
Give me a paragraph summary of what you'd like to write about.
Okay.
And I can review that and get back to them, probably within the same day typically, but certainly within a week.
Okay.
And just seeing and where we might have opportunity spots for it, either online or in the magazine. And it's a very simple process. Our articles typically run anywhere from 800 to 2,000 words, plus images. And of course, we love those great images that we can consider for the cover.
Right.
They're typically contributed by engineering firms. And so, we're always looking for good content, and it's good exposure both for the engineers and for the firms, and just to get out there the great projects, the great ideas that everyone has.
Okay. Well, we'll be sure to share your email address in the show notes so that people can connect with you and definitely get that information. So tell me this. I'm just curious. If you weren't the civil and structural editor, what would you be doing?
I would love to be involved in the geographic information systems profession.
Okay.
A while back, I took a certificate course through Penn State online to learn a little more about GIS, and maps have just always been something that have intrigued me, which is probably what drew me to geology, in fact.
Okay.
But I would just find that really interesting on a daily basis to be involved in that. Probably not going to happen at this point, but it's just a real area of interest.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Well, listen, we're going to, as we wrap up this interview, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to meet with us. This is the first time that we featured anybody from C+S on our podcast, and certainly won't be the last, but we're doing something new here on this Zweig Letter interview series, and we want to go a little deeper for our audience and learn who the real Bob Drake is. I have a couple simple questions that we'll end our interview with, and hopefully we'll have some fun in the process.
Okay.
What was the last book that you read?
I guess you would say I'm still in the process of reading it. Kindle, you can get lots of books on a Kindle, and I got downloaded a book. It's basically a collection of 60 classic mystery stories from Sherlock Holmes to Father Brown.
Okay.
So I've actually been reading that for years. So I haven't finished it yet, but I'm a good ways through all these books.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. No, I love mysteries. I saw the other day. I saw a trailer that Murder on the Orient Express. They did a remake of the movie, and it's coming out. It looks like it should be really fun. So yeah, that's awesome. So where did you go on your last vacation?
Well, the last few years have been a little crazy in that we have moved halfway across the country twice since 2014.
Okay.
And so I would say the last vacation of probably my wife accompanied me to London for the Bentley Systems Year in Infrastructure Conference in 2014.
Okay.
And we took a couple days after that and toured London and Southeast England and just had a great time there.
Yeah. Well, obviously, because of the weather, because of the news and the current events lately, London has been in the news, but it is a beautiful city to visit. There's so much to see and do. And I just recommend that when people go there, they visit in the spring or in the summertime, because the fall or winter aren't as fun, for sure.
Yeah, we were there in November.
So it is definitely, that's an understatement. But well, if you could binge watch one TV series, old or new, what would it be?
Well, for me, a binge watch would probably be about 2 episodes. That'd be all I could take.
Right.
I've enjoyed a PBS series called Foyle's War.
Okay.
About during World War II and afterwards, and a detective that is involved there. So that would probably be it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair enough. Everybody's got their TV series that they watch. So and again, nowadays with the fact that we can watch whenever we want to, and we're not beholden to having to be in front of the TV at a specific time, it's a lot more convenient now. So, but well, that's great. Well, Bob, I can't thank you enough for agreeing to meet with us and to share a little insight into what it takes to get the magazine going each month. I know there is a huge team behind you that makes it happen. Actually, it's not a huge team. It's surprisingly small and compact, but you get so much done. And I'm always amazed with my teammates here in Fayetteville that work with you, and when they kind of stop what they're doing, and as soon as I say deadline for C+S, they're like, deadline. And that's all I have to understand. I know they've got some work to do. And so you've got a really great team behind you, and we certainly appreciate all that you're doing to continue to advance this idea that great design calls on great ideas, and certainly Civil plus Structural Engineer magazine has no shortage of great ideas and great design to discuss and talk about and share. And so encourage you just to keep it up, and thank you so much again. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Randy.
So folks, I want to encourage you today to get a free subscription to Civil plus Structural Engineer magazine. With all this talk about this magazine, you need to see what it's all about. If you haven't read it, you've got to get a copy of it. And I'm going to make it so, and I'm going to give it to you for free. And to sweeten the pot, we are throwing in a couple of issues of the Zweig letter too. So, that's just it. Civil plus Structural Engineer magazine, a year's electronic subscription to the magazine, plus several issues of the Zweig letter for you to check out at your own convenience electronically. Just visit free tzl.zweiggroup.com and leave us your email address. We will take care of the rest. Everything will be delivered to you electronically. As a reminder, all Zweig Group Media programs like this one are available in both podcast and video format, free for download on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube, just to name a few places. A link to all of this information, including contact information for our guests, will be in our show notes. And we'd love it if you'd go to iTunes or wherever you tune into this show and give us a rating and share this link with a friend. We love 5-star reviews here at the Zweig Letter Podcast. Listen, I'm Randy Wilburn, and you've been listening to Zweig Group Media, part of Zweig Group. Remember, we exist to make you more successful. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to this Zweig Letter Podcast. We hope that you can apply the Zweig team's no-holds-barred advice to your daily professional life. For a free 6-week subscription to the Zweig Letter, please visit freetzl.zweiggroup.com to gain more wisdom and inspiration, in addition to information about leadership, finance, HR, and marketing your firm. Subscribe today.